Hey guys, welcome back to the second day of VBS. I hope you had a lot of fun yesterday, and today I hope you'll have just as much fun. Today's theme is that Jesus knows my worth. That means He knows how valuable we are. He looks at us on the inside, not just on the outside, and He can tell everything about us like we talked about yesterday, and that tells Him how valuable we are. So we're going to look at the story about the woman at the well. Now remember, this is a true story about somebody who Jesus actually had an encounter with. And we're going to see what happened to her. So one day, before I get started, don't forget in your book you've got a coloring page to go along with this. And you have the whole text if you want to read for yourself how the Bible puts this. I'm going to open up to John 4, verses 1 through 42. That's where this story is found. So the story starts out with Jesus on his way through an area called Samaria. That was just kind of like a county for them. And as he was going through, he stopped at a well outside of the town. Now, we're going to show you what a well might have looked like and how they might have gotten water from the well. And then hopefully that'll help you as we go through the rest of the story. Okay, guys, welcome to our well. Now, we say that with an accent, and I don't mean this kind of whale. I mean a well, W-E-L-L. And so a well during Jesus' time was a big hole that they had dug all the way down to where they could get water. And then they would surround it with stones like this to keep people from accidentally falling in. And then they would usually put some kind of a cover on the top, like a piece of wood or another big stone or something. Just so nothing would fall in, like animals or something. And that would make the water gross, right? So they would do all that. So if you were coming to get water, you'd have to take the big thing off the top. And then you would have to have your bucket. And you would take your bucket and lower it all the way down into the well, as far as it could, until it hit the water. And then when it got all full, you would slowly pull it up. And it would be full of water and really heavy. And then you could pour it into another jug. And once you poured it out, you might have to put it back in the well to get more water. And you might have to do this many, many times until your jug was full of water. And then you could take your jug home and use it for drinks or for cleaning or for cooking or whatever you needed it for. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you kind of get a good picture in your mind what was going on. So Jesus sits down by the well and sends off his disciples to go get food for them. And while Jesus was sitting there, a woman from the town came out to the well to get water. Now, there were lots of things about this woman, and we won't go into all the details, but first of all, she was a woman. She was a Samaritan, and she had done some things wrong in the past. But Jesus knew all that because he knew all about her, just like he knows all about you. Normally, any of those reasons would have been reasons for somebody not to talk to her. So she was probably used to having to be by herself to do everything because she was disliked. Jesus, a man, should not have ever talked to a woman, according to the society. A Jewish person should have never talked to a Samaritan. So when the woman approached the well and Jesus asked her for a drink of water, this was really unusual. And the woman even said, "Wait a minute, you're Jewish, I'm a Samaritan. Why are you asking me for something?" And Jesus explained to her that if she knew and understood who he was, she would ask him for living water. Now you might say, what in the world is living water? Water doesn't live. But Jesus wasn't talking about water that you drink. He was talking about himself. He is the living water. He is what we refer to when we say the living water. And he explained to her that that living water was something that would keep her fresh on her insides. That she would feel alive and rejuvenated. Just like when we take a nice cold drink of water after we've been outside playing for a long time. And we go, ah, that's what having Jesus in your life is like for a Christian. And so he was explaining that to this woman. And she said the obvious thing, well, sir, how do you get living water? You don't even have a bucket for the well. And that's when he told her, it's not about the actual water. It's about Jesus, the person. And so Jesus explained to her all these things and even told her the secret about her past, that she had done some things wrong. And the woman was so amazed that she ran back into her town and started telling everybody that she could, come, see this man who's out here. He's told me everything that has ever happened in my life. He must be the Messiah, this person that we've been waiting for. And pretty soon the whole town, who would have never had anything to do with her otherwise, all of a sudden wants to find out what's up with this man named Jesus. And so they all followed her. And Jesus was able to talk to this whole town. And many of them came to believe in him that day. Now, Jesus knew that this woman was valuable. She still had worth, even though she had done some things wrong in her life. Even though she was a woman, and even though she was of a group of people that usually weren't respected, he knew that even she had value and worth for what he needed to do. And so he told this woman all the good news about himself, and she went and told everybody else, and that whole town came to find out more about Jesus. Isn't that wonderful that Jesus knew that about her, and that even though things might have been bad in her past, he could still use her? And that's the truth for us too, that even though sometimes we do things wrong, that doesn't mean that Jesus can't use us, that he can't help us to do the right thing and to help other people know about him. So hopefully that all makes sense. I know this is a lot to take in, and it's a very long story. But hopefully as you go through the rest of the day, you'll learn more about what it means that Jesus knows your worth. So I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.